Choosing a home healthcare agency isn't something most people plan for. It usually happens at a moment when something has changed. A health event, a fall, or the realization that everyday tasks are becoming harder. When that moment comes, families are often asked to make decisions quickly, sometimes without knowing what questions to ask or what answers really mean. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 essential questions to ask before signing with a home healthcare agency. These questions are not about finding the perfect agency. They're about helping you understand how an agency operates, how decisions are made, and what level of reliability and oversight you can expect. Knowing what to ask and what to listen for in the answers can help you avoid surprises later and make a more confident, informed decision. Let's start with the first and most important question. Question 1. Which services are included and which are not? Before signing with a home healthcare agency, it's important to clearly understand what services are included and what services are not. Many families assume that once support is in place, everything they need will automatically be covered. In reality, services can vary widely from one agency to another, even when they sound similar at first. Asking this question helps you avoid misunderstandings later. It also helps you understand where additional costs may come in, or where gaps in care might appear once services begin. When listening to the answer, pay attention to how clearly the agency explains their scope of services. A well-run agency should be able to describe exactly what their home care support workers can assist with, what requires additional authorization, and what falls outside their services altogether. Vague answers or general reassurances are something to be cautious about. Clear explanations show that an agency understands its responsibilities and sets realistic expectations from the start. This question is not about finding more services. It's about making sure the support you're agreeing to matches the needs you're planning for. Question 2. Who provides the care and how are they trained? Once you understand which services are included, the next important question is about the people providing that care. Home care support workers are the individuals coming into your home on a regular basis. They are the ones assisting with daily routines, safety, and support. Because of that, it's important to understand who they are and how prepared they are for the role. When you ask this question, you're listening for clarity and transparency. A reliable agency should be able to explain who their home care support workers are, what kind of training they receive before working with clients, and whether that training continues over time. You should also listen for how closely the agency stays involved once care begins. Training alone is not enough. Ongoing supervision and follow-up are part of maintaining consistent and safe support. If an answer feels vague, overly reassuring, or focused only on experience without explaining training, that's something to pause on. Clear explanations show that an agency takes responsibility for the people they send into your home. This question helps you understand not just who is providing care, but how seriously the agency takes quality and accountability. Question 3. Will the same home care support workers be assigned consistently? Consistency matters more than many people realize when it comes to home care. Having the same home care support workers allows routines to develop, trust to build, and small details to be noticed. It also reduces stress for the person receiving care and for family members who are coordinating support. When you ask this question, listen carefully to how the agency explains their scheduling practices. A well-organized agency should be able to explain whether they aim for consistent assignments, how they manage absences, and what happens when a change is unavoidable. Occasional changes can happen, but frequent turnover or unclear scheduling can affect the quality of care over time. If an agency cannot explain how they promote continuity, or if the answer sounds uncertain, that may lead to frustration later on. This question helps you understand whether the agency values stability and relationship-based care, not just filling shifts. Question 4. How is care supervised and adapted over time? Home care is not static. Needs change. Routines evolve. And what works at the beginning may not be enough later on. Asking this question helps you understand how closely the agency stays involved after care begins. It also shows whether they see home care as an ongoing process or a set schedule that rarely changes. When listening to the answer, pay attention to how the agency monitors care once services are in place. A reliable agency should be able to explain how they check in, how concerns are identified, and how adjustments are made when needs change. You should also listen for who you contact if something is not working. Clear communication channels and regular follow-up are signs that care is being actively supervised, not simply assigned and forgotten. If an agency cannot explain how care is reviewed or adapted over time, that can lead to gaps in support as needs evolve. This question helps ensure that care remains appropriate, responsive, and aligned with what is actually happening in the home. Question 5. What happens if a home care support worker is absent or there is an emergency? Even with the best planning, absences and unexpected situations can happen. What matters is how an agency responds when they do. Asking this question helps you understand whether the agency is prepared for disruptions or whether you will be left scrambling to fill the gap. When listening to the answer, pay attention to how the agency explains their backup plans. A well-organized agency should be able to describe how replacements are arranged, how quickly they respond, and how communication is handled during an urgent situation. You should also listen for clarity around who you contact and what steps are taken if something happens outside of regular hours. Clear procedures and timely communication are essential during stressful moments. If an agency cannot clearly explain what happens during an absence or emergency, that uncertainty can create real risk. This final question helps you understand how reliable the agency truly is when things do not go according to plan. Choosing a home healthcare agency is not just about availability or cost. It is about understanding how the agency operates behind the scenes and how that will affect daily life in your home. The 5 questions we covered today are meant to help you look beyond brochures and general promises. They help you understand services, training, consistency, supervision, and reliability during unexpected situations. You do not need perfect answers, you need clear answers. When an agency can explain how they work, how they support their home care support workers, and how they respond when something changes, that gives you a stronger foundation for making your decision. Taking the time to ask these questions now can prevent confusion, frustration, and stress later. If you found this helpful, explore the related resources linked below. The goal is not just to find care, but to choose care that fits your needs with clarity and confidence. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you or someone you care about. If you'd like more simple, supportive tips for aging safely and comfortably at home, please subscribe to the Lifestyle 55 channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.